These are the stories of courage, determination and sacrifice. These are the incidents of rebellion against the foreign power that had us in chains for over 3 centuries. These are the contributions that made a mark but sadly went rather unnoticed or less talked about in the historical discourse of our freedom struggle. These are the stories of our lesser known freedom fighters. As India embarks on the journey to celebrate the momentous occasion of 75th year of her independence, we bring you stories about few people who fought tooth and nail against the British atrocities. But before that, don't forget to share and subscribe to our portal.
I had the satisfaction of breaking the law and doing something for the nation.
Usha Mehta. For 3 months from 14th August 1942, India literally woke up to a female voice in a radio that began broadcast by saying, "This is the Congress radio calling on 42.34 from somewhere in India." The woman behind this underground radio broadcast was Usha Mehta. Just a few hours after Mahatma Gandhi gave the clarion call of "do or die" and the entire political leadership fighting for independence was arrested, this voice in the radio kept the struggle alive. She got this underground radio station up and running with the help of 2 other activists and Nanka Motwani, whose family owned a telephone company called Chicago Radio. In the beginning, they broadcast twice a day, in Hindi and English, but they reduced it to just once in the evening between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. later on as the police started trailing them. They had to change locations around 6 times in these 3 months. They broadcast all sorts of news, from merchants refusing to export rice to arrests of leaders and civilians. At a time when newspapers were gagged, this radio station kept the flame of the struggle alive. During these months, it was only the Congress radio which defied the orders and told people what actually was happening. Many prominent leaders such as Ram Manohar Lohia also delivered radical speeches in these broadcasts, which unnerved the British. On 12 November 1942, she and 4 others were arrested for running this secret radio station. They were incessantly questioned for months that almost was on the brink of real mental torture. But she did not reveal anything. She was incarcerated for 4 years and was released in 1946. After her release, she pursued her PhD and went on to teach at Wilson College in Bombay University for 30 years. She was conferred the Padma Vibhushan, one of India's highest civilian honours, in 1998. She passed away on 11th August 2000 after a brief illness. Hemchandra Bandyopadhyay. Not all fighters use swords. A few also use the might of pen, imagery of words and the rhythm of prose or verse to help the cause. Hemchandra Bandyopadhyay was one such person. He was one of the best things to have happened to Bengali literature before Rabindranath Tagore. Across the country during the British era, he was perhaps the first poet to have visualized India as an undivided, independent and integrated land. He first earned the wrath of the British when his poem Bharat Sangeet was published in 1872. His poem had exhorted Indians to overthrow the British rule, and for quite some time this poem was considered to be the anthem of Bengalis. This had happened just a decade after the tumultuous period of the Indigo Revolt in Bengal. In fact, he not only encouraged people to break the British shackles, but he was also responsible for raising awareness about the issues of women in the society. His famous poem Kulin Mahila Vilap had immensely helped Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in his campaign against polygamy and widow remarriage. Rani Gaidinliu. She was a fiery fighter born in the Naga tribe in present-day Manipur. She led an armed uprising against the British in Manipur, Nagaland and Assam. In 1927, at the age of 13, she, along with her cousin, joined the Heraka movement, which aimed at the revival of the Naga tribal religion and to establish self-rule of the Nagas, ending the British rule. She linked her spiritual role as a leader of the socio-religious movement to her role as a nationalist and constantly evoked Mahatma Gandhi's efforts at the national level to inspire her people to rebel against the British. She firmly believed that the loss of religion is the loss of culture, and loss of culture is the loss of identity. She had started her own version of the non-cooperation movement among Naga tribes. She made it difficult for the British administration to function in the region after she instructed all households to abstain from paying taxes. She was arrested in 1932 when she was just 16 and was sentenced to life imprisonment by the British. Between 1932 and 1947, she was kept at several prisons across the Northeast. She was finally released in 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru described her as the daughter of the hills, and he gave her the title of Rani for her courage. She was also awarded a Padma Bhushan. For her contribution to the freedom struggle, she was bestowed a number of honors, including the Tamrapatra in 1972, Padma Bhushan in 1982, Vivekananda Seva Samman in 1983, and Stree Shakti Puraskar in 1991. In 1996, the Union government also issued a commemorative stamp in her honor. Last year, the Tribal Freedom Fighters Museum, inaugurated in Manipur, has been named after this brave lady. These were a few freedom fighters whose contribution made a mark in 3 separate areas in the fight for independence. We hope you like this new video. Thank you for watching.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.